Good morning, students. Say your prayer. தேங்க்யூ. நான் ஒரு நல்லாசிரியர். நான் உங்களுக்கு தாயாகவும் தந்தையாகவும் இருந்தும் முறையாக அன்போடு கல்வியை போதிப்பேன். நான் ஒரு நல்லாசிரியர். நான் உங்களுக்கு தாயாகவும் தந்தையாகவும் இருந்தும் முறையாக அன்போடு கல்வியை போதிப்பேன். நான் ஒரு நல்லாசிரியர். நான் உங்களுக்கு தாயாகவும் தந்தையாகவும் இருந்தும் முறையாக அன்போடு கல்வியை போதிப்பேன். Okay, students, take your social science book. Come to page number 239. Today we will move to civics. So totally there are 5 lessons in civics. So the first lesson deals with the Indian Constitution. So general introduction to the Indian Constitution. Second lesson deals with the central government. So what are the composition? So what are the structure of central government? You will see detailedly in second lesson. In third lesson you will see about the state government. So we will see about the state government. So the nature, structure and composition of the state government. Then in fourth lesson, so the foreign policy of India. So what was the policy maintained by India in maintaining relationship with the foreign countries? Okay, then the fifth lesson we saw about India's relationship with other countries. So what type of relationship was maintained by India with other countries? So in first lesson we will see about Indian Constitution. So let us move into the lesson. So learning objectives. So what are you going to learn from this lesson? So first to know about the making of Indian Constitution. So how the Indian Constitution was made. So you are going to learn about that. Then to know about the salient features of Indian Constitution. Okay, that is the important features of Indian Constitution. Then to understand the fundamental rights and duties. That is you are going to learn, you are going to understand about the basic rights and the basic duties. So fundamental means the basic rights. Okay, so the basic. Then to know the directive principles of state policy. So that means, so if a government or a state is going to introduce a scheme or going to introduce a policy means, so they have to keep in mind certain principles. So they have to keep in mind, so keep in thought certain principles. Okay, so you are going to learn, so what are the principles, so that are going to, so that have to be in the mind of the state or a government while introducing a policy or a scheme. Then to understand the central state relations and the emergency provisions. So to understand the center state relationship. So what is the relationship between the central government and the state government, and also emergency. So in case of emergency, so what will be done in India? So you are going to learn about that and all detailedly. So first learning objective is you are going to learn about the making of Indian Constitution. Then you know about the salient features of Indian Constitution. Then to understand the fundamental rights and duties. Then to know the directive principles of state policy. And finally to understand the center state relations and the emergency provisions. Introduction. So constitution is nothing but the fundamental law of a country. So that is, it is a basic law of a country. So that reflects the fundamental principles on which the government of the country is based. Okay, so constitution is nothing but which reflects the fundamental principles. So it reflects the basic principles on which the government of a country is based. Okay, so it is the basic law, and it reflects the basic principles on which the government of a country is based. Okay, then it is a vehicle of nation's progress. So in which path it was going. So the country was going in which path, it was decided, it was seen in the basic law, in the constitution of that country. So first the concept of constitution was first originated in USA. So the concept of constitution was first originated in United States of America. Okay, so constitution is nothing but the fundamental, that is the basic law of a country, so which reflects the fundamental principles, that is the basic principles on which the government of the particular country is based. Okay, so the concept of constitution, it was first originated in United States of America. the need for a constitution. So why we need constitution? Because all the democratic countries have a constitution that governs them. Yeah, so the democratic countries need constitution. So if you take monarchy, oligarchy, they won't need constitution because the rules are framed by a particular person or a group of people only. But in democratic countries, so people forms the government. Yeah. So in order to govern them, they make certain principles that was called as constitution. Yeah. So constitution puts down certain principles that forms the basis of any kind of state that we as citizens decide to live in, that is we wish to live in. So we need certain principles. Yeah. So in order to live in this country, we need certain principles, certain rules. Okay. So in order to fulfill our wish, so the constitution was made. Yeah. So it tells us the fundamental nature of our society. So by seeing the constitution, we can understand the basic nature. Yeah, so basic nature of our Indian society. So that's why we need a constitution. Yeah, so in order to tell us, in order to show our fundamental nature of our society, so we need a constitution. And also in order to govern ourselves, we need a constitution. So that's why there was a need for a constitution. Making of Indian Constitution. So the Constitution of India was framed by a Constituent Assembly set up under the Cabinet Mission Plan 1946. Yeah, so the Constitution of India was framed, so that was formed by the Constituent Assembly. Yeah, so the assembly was set up under the Cabinet Mission Plan 1946. So the Cabinet Mission, so that was sent by the British government. Yeah, so in 1945 there was a change in government in British. Yeah, so the newly formed British government decided to give independence to India. Yeah, so they decided to give independence to India. Okay. So in 1946, so they sent a committee, so called as Cabinet Mission, so which gave some ideas, some principles to the Indian leaders. Yeah. So among them, one idea was so forming the Constitution Assembly. So in order to make the Indian Constitution. Yeah. So this assembly consisted of 389 members. So totally in the Constitution Assembly there are 389 members, in which 292 members were representing the provinces. So provinces means, so like now states are there now. So there were provinces initially. So during the British Empire, so India was divided into several provinces. So now we are saying states now. So likewise, it was a province. Yeah. So from the provinces, 292 members were represented. Yeah. Then states. So states means princely states. Yeah. So if you take Indian subcontinent, it was not fully ruled by British Empire. Yeah. So some parts were ruled by our Indian rulers, but with the support of British. Okay, so some of the states were ruled by our Indian princes directly, but with the support of British Empire. Yeah. So from there 93 members were represented. Then the Chief Commissioner provinces, that is Chief Commissioner provinces means, so some of the states were, some of the provinces were controlled by the British through Chief Commissioners. Yeah, so the provinces were ruled directly by British government with the Governor Generals, okay, and the respective governors. Okay, in the case of Chief Commissioner provinces, it was controlled by the Chief Commissioner. Okay, so from Chief Commissioner provinces, so 3 members were represented. Then and from Balochistan, so Balochistan now a part of Pakistan. So there, yeah, 1 member represented. Okay, so there are totally 318 members, so representing the Indian Constitution. So from which 292 members were from provinces, so 93 members from the states, that is from princely states, and 3 members from the Chief Commissioners provinces, and 1 member from Balochistan. Yeah, so the making of Indian Constitution. So first the Constitution of India was framed by the Constitution Assembly set up under the Cabinet Mission Plan in 1946. The assembly consisted of 389 members. So the assembly held its first meeting in December 9, 1946. So on that day, Dr. Sachidanand Sinha, who was the oldest member of the Constitution Assembly, was elected as the temporary president. Yeah, so in the first meeting of the Indian Constitution in the Constitution Assembly, Dr. Sachidananda Sinha, who was the oldest member, was elected as the temporary president of the assembly. But when the work was in progress, he was died. Yeah, so when the work was in progress, Dr. Sachidananda Sinha died. So Dr. Rajendra Prasad, so who was elected as the president of the assembly. Yeah, so since Dr. Sachidananda Sinha was died while the work was in progress, Dr. Rajendra Prasad was elected as the president of the assembly. Yeah. So who was he? Dr. Rajendra Prasad. Yeah, the first president of independent India. Yeah, so he was elected as the president of the Constituent Assembly. Then the vice presidents were H.C. Mukherjee and V.T. Krishnamachari. Yeah, so both H.C. Mukherjee and V.T. Krishnamachari were elected as the vice president of the assembly. So when was the first meeting of the assembly took place? Yeah, December 9, 1946. So we saw it. Yeah, so who was the first president of the Constitution Assembly? Yeah, Dr. Sachidananda Sinha. But he was died during the process. Then who was elected as the president? Yeah, Dr. Rajendra Prasad. Okay, ma. So then, under which plan the Constituent Assembly was set up? Yeah, Cabinet Mission Plan. Yeah. So come back to the lesson. Yeah. So here, so after the first meeting, there are several meetings. So totally 11 sessions of the assembly took place, which consist of 160 days of meeting. Yeah, so there are totally 11 sessions with 166 days of meetings, and there were several amendments. So totally 2473 amendments were introduced during the discussion. Yeah, so the assembly totally meet for 11 sessions. So sessions means nothing but a period of meeting. Yeah, so a period of discussion. Yeah, so totally they meet 166 days. Okay, so in which they discussed 2473 amendment. So amendment means some changes, a small change. Yeah, so in order to frame the constitution, so they discussed a lot. Our constitution members discussed a lot and suggested several changes and suggested several amendments. Yeah, so totally they suggested 2473 amendments. The need for a constitution. So why we need constitution? Because all the democratic countries have a constitution that governs them. Yeah, so the democratic countries need constitution. So if you take monarchy, oligarchy, they won't need constitution because the rules are framed by a particular person or a group of people only. But in democratic countries, so people forms the government. Yeah. So in order to govern them, they make certain principles that was called as constitution. Yeah. So constitution puts down certain principles that forms the basis of any kind of state that we as citizens decide to live in, that is we wish to live in. So we need certain principles. Yeah. So in order to live in this country, we need certain principles, certain rules. Okay. So in order to fulfill our wish, so the constitution was made. Yeah. So it tells us the fundamental nature of our society. So by seeing the constitution, we can understand the basic nature. Yeah, so some of the amendments were accepted. So then the assembly worked through various committees. Yeah, so there are various committees set up by the Constitution Assembly, and the most important committee was the drafting committee. So that only make the Indian Constitution. Yeah, so there are several committees so set up by the assembly. The important among them was the drafting committee. So you can see in this picture. So there are totally how many members? 8 members. Okay, so there are 8 members in the drafting committee. So it was set up under the leadership of chairmanship of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Okay, so it was set up under the chairmanship of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. So the assembly worked through various committees, and the draft of the constitution was prepared by the drafting committee. So the very important committee. So it was set up under the chairmanship of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. So he was recognized as the father of Constitution of India. So Dr. B.R. Ambedkar was recognized as the father of Constitution of India. Then after the draft had been discussed by the people, so the draft was introduced publicly and it was discussed by the people and also the press, that is media, that is in the newspapers, then provincial assemblies and others. So during the time there were assemblies in the provinces. So India was divided into several provinces. So there were assembly. So like we have the state assembly now. So like that only. Yes, there were provincial assemblies and others. So the draft was discussed by the people, the press, provincial assemblies and also others. So after that the constitution was finally adopted. So that means it was accepted on November 26, 1949. So the Constitution of India was finally adopted, that is accepted on November 26, 1949. So which contained a preamble. So preamble means, they will see. So preamble 22 parts. It is divided into 22 parts. The Constitution of India is divided into 22 parts with 395 articles and 8 schedules. So the final Constitution, so which was adopted on November 26, 1949, consists of a preamble, 22 parts, 395 articles and 8 schedules. So the drafted constitution came into force on 26 January 1950. So what was the special of that day? Republic Day. So the constitution was adopted by the members of Constitution Assembly on 26 November 1949. It came into force, it came into effect in the whole country on 26 January 1950, which was celebrated as the Republic Day every year. So who were the vice president of the Constitution Assembly? H.C. Mukherjee and V.T. Krishnamachari. So totally how many amendments were presented during the discussion? 2473. So which is the important committee in drafting the constitution? Drafting committee. Who is recognized as the father of the Constitution of India? Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. So now we will see about the salient features of Indian Constitution, that is the important features of Indian Constitution. First, it was the lengthiest of all the written constitution of the world. So the Indian Constitution was the lengthiest of all the written constitution of the world. So the constitution of the many countries were divided into two categories. One was written and another one was unwritten. So some of the countries have written constitution and some of the countries have unwritten constitution. Say for example, British Constitution, it was unwritten one. Say for example, American Constitution, it was a written one. So likewise, Indian Constitution was a written one. So among the written constitution, Indian Constitution was a lengthiest one. Then she borrowed it most of its provisions from the constitution of various countries. So she borrowed most of its constitution, most of its provisions from the various countries' constitution. Then it is partly rigid and partly flexible. So partly rigid, partly flexible means, so some of the provisions of the Indian Constitution was difficult to change. It is very strong. It is not easily changeable. And some are easily changeable. So that's why it was partly rigid and partly flexible. So rigid means strong. So flexible means you can change it. So some parts of the Indian Constitution was strongly changeable and some are not changeable. So they were some strong and they were flexible. Then it establishes a federal system of government. So federal means, what do you mean by federal? So federal means, so the power was divided among the state and the center. So constitution has divided the power between the state and the center. So federal system of government means, so having a system of government in which the individual states of a country have control over their own affairs but are controlled by central government for national ideas, national decisions, etc. So federal government means, so a system of government in which the individual states, India is divided into many states. So there are totally 28 states, So the power was divided between the states So the states of the country have control over their own affairs but are controlled by the central government. So our state government are sometimes controlled by the central government, so in taking national decisions. Okay, so that is the federal. So simply saying, so the power was divided between the state and the center. So India establishes a federal system of government. Then it makes India as a secular state. So secularism means, so there is no official religion for the state. So that is, there is no official religion for the government. So it won't support any religion. So India is a secular state. Then it provides an independent judiciary. So justice. So it was independent. So no government or no member can interfere in its activities. Then it introduced universal adult franchise. That means, so those who attain a particular age have the eligibility to put vote. So as per this, it gave the right to vote to all citizens above 18 years of age. So those who attain 18 years can put vote in election. So those who are the citizens of India, and if they attain the age of 18 means they can put vote without any discrimination. So during the British period, so only the wealthy persons, those who are paying tax and those who are educated have the right to vote. But our constitution so introduced universal adult franchise and gave and accords the right to vote to all citizens above 18 years of age without any discrimination, without any barrier. So once again, just to recall the point, salient features. So first, lengthiest of all written constitution, then borrowed most of its provisions from the constitution of various countries, then partly rigid, partly flexible, then federal system of government, then India as a secular state, then provides an independent judiciary, then introduced universal adult franchise and gave the right to vote to all citizens above 18 years of age without any discrimination. So these are the salient features of Indian Constitution. So preamble. Okay, so preamble means, so it is the term refer to the introduction or preface of the constitution. Okay, so the term preamble refers to the introduction or preface to the constitution. So preface means an introduction to a book, especially one that explains the author's name. So preface, so nothing but an introduction to a book. So that is, they gave general introduction to the constitution. It consists of the ideas, objectives and the basic principles of the constitution. So just by reading the preamble, we can understand the ideas, objectives and the basic principles of our constitution. Then it has a great value. So it has a great value and it has been described as the key to the constitution. So preamble was described as the key to the constitution. So then the preamble to the Indian constitution is based on the objective resolution drafted by Jawaharlal Nehru. So the preamble, so how was the preamble was drafted means, it was based on the objective resolution. So it was drafted by Jawaharlal Nehru, which was adopted, that is, which was accepted by the Constitution Assembly on January 22, 1947. So when did the first meeting of the Constitution Assembly held? 9th December 1946. Okay. Then in the next month, so in January 22, 1947, so Jawaharlal Nehru introduced the objective resolution. So drafted the objective resolution, which was accepted as the preamble to the Indian Constitution. So the preamble was only amended one time. So it was amended only once. So by the 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act of 1976. So in 1976, so by the 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act, there was a change introduced in the preamble. So that is, only 3 words were added, that is socialist, secular and integrity. So these 3 words were added in the preamble of the constitution. So the preamble, so that is the introduction to the constitution. It shows the ideas, objectives and basic principles of the constitution, and it is described as the key to the constitution. So the preamble of the Indian constitution is based on the objective resolution drafted by Jawaharlal Nehru, that was adopted by the Constitution Assembly on 22nd January 1946, and the preamble was amended only one time, that was in 1976 by the 42nd Amendment Act, and it introduced new words: socialist, secular, and integrity. So the preamble, so introduction to the constitution, so begin with the phrase "we the people of India." So it begins with the phrase "we the people of India." So we can say the people of India was the source of our constitution. So it begins with the phrase "we the people of India." So we can say the people of India was the source of the constitution. So the preamble of our constitution states that India is a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic. So India was a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic. So sovereign means, so what do you mean by sovereign? That is, she is independent in taking decision. India is independent country in taking its own decision. Then socialism, what do you mean by socialism? So that is a set of political and economic theories based on the belief that everyone has an equal right to share a country's wealth. So socialism is a principle in which that everyone has an equal right to share a country's wealth, and also the government should own main industries. So socialism is a principle in which the people of a country share the wealth of the country equally, and the main industries of the country was controlled by the government. Then secular, so secularism means, so there is no official religion for the state, that is the government won't support any religion. Then democratic republic, so democracy, so that is the people were the leaders of the country, so people only elect their leaders. Then republic, so a country's government was run on the basis of the constitution. So that is republic. So India is a sovereign, that is she can decide their decisions independently, that is free to govern itself, that is completely independent. Then socialism, that is the country's wealth was divided equally, and some of the main industries should be run by the government. Then secular, there is no official religion for the government. Then democratic, so people power. Then republic, so based on the constitution Indian government was run. So this was the important word. Then the aim of the Indian constitution was to secure all Indian citizens social, economic, and political justice. Its aim is to secure Indian citizens social, economic, and political justice. So you can see in this picture what was written in the preamble of the constitution. So just read it. We the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign democratic republic, and to secure to all its citizens justice, social, economic, and political, liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith, and worship, equality of status and of opportunity, and to promote among them all fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual and the unity of the nation. In our Constituent Assembly, this 26th day of November 1949, do hereby adopt, enact, and give to ourselves this Constitution. Okay, students. So we saw about the general introduction by the Constitution Assembly, so the making of Indian Constitution, and also we saw about the salient features and the preamble of Indian Constitution. So have any doubt? No doubt, huh? So who were these women so shown in this picture? So have any idea? So they were the members of the Constitution Assembly. So they were the first members of the first formed Constitution Assembly. So women members. Okay, so there are totally 318 members now. So among them, so these were the few members, so who were women. Okay, okay students. So apart from this, if you have any doubt, just contact me.